Now on Vintage Rock Pod, we've spoke to English rock stars and Scottish rock stars, American rock stars, Canadian rock stars. We've even had a German rock star on. But I'm delighted to say I'm about to be joined by my first Dutch rock star. And not just a rock star, he's a sir as well. His band first found global fame back in the 70s with huge hits that went around the world. I'm delighted to be joined now by Thijs Van Leer from the band Focus. Hi, Thijs.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, how are
I,
you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good stuff. That's good to hear. How are you coping with lockdown and everything that's been going on in this crazy year?
Yeah, I mean, I have to get adapted to it. I'm a lot at home and
Mm,
I'm composing every day, actually, and not 8 hours a day, but a few hours per day. And we have a good contact with the members of the group Focus by doing a Zoom every week.
yep.
And so that is making us very happy, kind of happy. And of course, we are not happening now. We are not performing. No.
Nope, we can't at the moment, can we? But let's go right back to the
Yeah.
very beginning then, Tice, if you don't mind. I read
Yeah.
somewhere that in the very early days, you rented a room in a grand kind of palace castle sort of thing. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. It was actually a castle owned by a girlfriend of mine.
Ah,
And she had a lot of mainly people from the cinema business being there and having lots of fun and drinks. And so it was a kind of a serious, half serious gathering of people that had the same kind of interest. And I came there with my the boss of the cabaret group that I was with, Ramses Shaffi, and he knew Mary, and he said, "Let's have a, a rehearsal at Mary's," and so we did, and that worked very fine. We had a lot of fun and a lot of talks, and then years later, I remember that, and I said to Group Focus, "Let's ask if we can have a rehearsal there." And we actually did, and
ah,
we had the agreement of not paying any money, but do a free concert there in
ah.
the, let's say, few months later. So we had a whole, how you call that, a wing of that castle
All right.
for ourselves with a beautiful room and a beautiful sounding, a good sound actually. And we rehearsed there for days and days and days.
There's not
So
many bands can say that they started rehearsing in castles. I mean, that's very special.
it was actually, yes.
Excellent. Now we talk about the early days. I mean, the first song which really put you on the map was House of the King, and that kind of brought you big exposure, didn't it?
Yeah, in Holland and in the Flemish part of Belgium, yes. But in England, for instance, it didn't become a big hit.
Okay.
Maybe there was some play on the radio, but
Yeah.
it was not the big thing. The big thing was actually Hocus Pocus, the
Yes.
second single.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Hocus Pocus. It was big. It was big everywhere. You toured all over the place. Big in America. It was big here in the UK as well, as you said, and big all over
Yeah,
the world. I mean, just take us
yeah.
back to the beginning of that. Where did that song come from then?
It actually started with the guitarist Jan Akkerman. He started to play and it was sounding great. I
Mm.
mean, one of the best licks ever, I think,
Yep.
in rock and roll history. And then he stopped suddenly, and Pierre, the drummer, he did a drum solo, a fill of 2 bars, and I started yodeling behind my organ, and for the first time of my life, and that was it. That was the song. And then we went to the studio and we recorded it, and it became a big hit,
So where
very
did
big.
where did the yodel idea come from? Was it just something spontaneous that came from within you?
I never did it before. It just came out of that moment, actually. So I can't say too much about it. And I did it kind of in tune. I think it was sounding immediately, let's say, adequate. Yeah.
It fit really well, and it was something different, very, very different, wasn't it? Because people weren't yodeling in pop culture back then.
No, there was not much yodel in pop culture there. I think there was a girl in Holland who did it, and there was the girl, she was called Ima Sumak, you know her?
No.
She did a bit of voice traveling, but no, we were actually the first. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good. And then I was watching videos of you recently doing this, and you still managed to pull off some of the yodel now, don't you? But you like to leave the rest of the high notes to the crowd.
The very high note I cannot make anymore since my 50s. Yeah. So the yodel itself I can do, but the go up, it doesn't happen anymore.
Can you give us a little
and the guitarist is helping me, and the public, as you say. Yeah.
Could you give us a little blast of the yodel now?
Oh no. Lloyd. No, not now.
No problem at all.
No.
So when that song broke big and you got to travel the world and play, I mean, what was it like as a Dutch band going across to America and performing over there on their TV shows and things like that? How did that feel?
Yeah, that was actually very nice, because we had a kind of a small audience, and not knowing that we were playing in front of so many million of people that were looking at TV. So there was a kind of a cozy feeling about it. So we were not aware of the many millions that looked at us. The Don Kirshner show we did, and the many shows, and a show we did with Gladys Knight announcing us.
I think it was about 10 years ago or so for the World Cup, when Hocus Pocus was used by huge company Nike on their adverts. I mean, did you know they were going to do that in advance? Did you realize that was going to happen?
Yeah, we had a talk with our publisher, and he made a big deal about that. So we knew it before.
Fantastic.
It was for a very big name like Nike.
Yes.
And beautiful film, by the way, done by a Brazilian cinematograph, and a fantastic film with all of very famous football players.
Yes.
Playing it. Yeah.
Yes, and it brought the music back and your band back, didn't it, to the forefront? And like you said, with the big footballers, Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney and other big name footballers were there, and people were hearing your music again, and it brought focus back to the masses.
Right. Yeah.
Good stuff. And then in terms of the Focus Part 1 then, I mean, you lasted for about 10 years or so until the band broke up originally. And now you're back. You've been back for a number of years, and you've released many albums since then. And you were telling me before we started recording as well about the lineup. It's kind of the new and the old, isn't it?
Yeah, 50-50. I'm part of the old gang with Pierre van der Linden, the drummer, and the guitarist Menno Gootjes, and the bass guitarist Udo Pannekeet. And they are one generation younger.
Yep.
They are 40 years. And the drummer and I, we are 70 years old, older than 70.
And do you find that having these younger guys with you helps to keep you alive? They bring fresh ideas to you and keep you going that way?
Yeah, also, but also we inspire them as well,
Yes, of course.
if I may be
Yeah.
so blunt. Yeah, yeah. So it works very good. Yeah.
Excellent. And you mentioned 50-50 split in the band. It kind of nicely leads us on to Focus 50 as well. It was an album that came out last year, and you worked with Roger Dean as well, didn't you? And I mean, that must have been very special.
That's great. The cooperation with Roger Dean is unbelievable, and we have a lot of respect for each other. And when we see each other, which is not often enough, but quite often, then we have great talks and very profound talks. Really nice.
Absolutely, because his back catalogue is incredible, isn't it? The bands that he's worked with, and he's gone on record and said that he loves your music, and he loved working with you on this project, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's one place that we play with people having dinner. It's in Trading Boundaries, and there he is always there also. The manager of Trading Boundaries is also his manager, so it's a kind of a friendship thing there.
And I touched on it at the very start as well. I'd like to hear your story about this. You are a sir, aren't you? You were given the honor in your home country. Can you tell us about how that came about, Thijs?
Yeah, actually, it was my wife who, Annelies, and she prepared it all without me knowing anything. And she's been corresponding with a lot of friends, and they all prepared it. And it was in the church in our village here. And she said, now you have to come on Saturday. You have to come at 12 o'clock sharp in that church and take your flute with you. And I say, why do I have to take my flute with me? Yeah, there's some friends and they want to play some stuff with you. But do I have to rehearse in front before that? No, you know the songs and it's no problem. And then I came there in the church with the door was closed, and I hear some music on the organ played, and I think that must be Bert van der Brink, the best pianist we have in Holland. And he played some of my compositions. And I thought, what is this? And then the door opened, and all my family, flown in from all over the world, was there, filling the church. And then I thought, what is this? This may be the opening of a cultural season or something. So I came in the church and I played while walking to the front, and I sat down. And then the mayor of our village, he started talking like it's the beginning of a cultural season, you know? And I thought, oh yeah, I thought I knew that. And then he suddenly said, it's about icons, and there's one icon here amongst you, and that's you, Mr. Van Leer. Could you come to me? And then I was really flabbergasted, you know, and then he gave me the ornaments of the how you call it, the knights, how you call that?
Yep, the knighthood.
Yep. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And then we played with the band. With Focus was there, and Focus played for more than an hour. And then we played with all my family members. We also have a band with my family, and we played for more than an hour. So it was only music. It was really nice.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a fantastic night.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Good stuff. Indeed. So
Yeah,
what you've mentioned that you're going to be touring in the UK later on this year in 2021.
yeah,
What else do you have on the radar? I guess obviously you said you were writing at home. Is there a new album in the works, in the plan?
yeah. There's 2 albums that will come out very soon now, and that's a live album from Rio de Janeiro
Wow.
with the latest lineup, and also a studio album with all the songs that are called Focus, Focus 1, Focus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up until 12.
Ah.
And so that's a very nice combination of a live and a not live album together. And in the meantime, we are working on Focus 12, the album. And that is, we didn't rehearse it yet. We are still working on it at home, quietly.
Thank you very much, Thijs. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today, and we look forward to hearing this new music and albums when you bring it out.
Right. Thank you very much for this interview.